This video is sponsored by EV, Australia's very own Tesla and electric vehicle sharing platform. Hey everyone, you're with Tesla Tom, and thanks so much for joining me today on my YouTube channel where we discuss Tesla, electric vehicles, and renewable energy. If this is your first time to my channel, then hello and welcome. Take a moment to hit that red subscribe button, that way you stay informed of any new content, and it also helps my channel to grow as well. Today we're going to look at the available electric vehicles for sale in Australia. We're going to do that and much more right after this. Hey everyone, welcome back, and as I said, today we're going to discuss the electric vehicles that are currently available for sale in Australia as of April 2021. Now, the New South Wales government has actually developed quite a handy website looking at the practicalities of owning an electric vehicle in Australia as of 2021. So I'll leave a link to their website in the description below. Make sure you check it out. You can look at things like the total cost of ownership and other practicalities such as charging, maintenance, and integration with your renewable energy such as solar and batteries. But today we're going to look at battery electric vehicles that the New South Wales government has listed that are available for sale currently as of April 2021. Okay, so I've taken a screenshot of that list and also made a few corrections and amendments as well. Okay, so all these cars are battery electric vehicles, which means they run on batteries, which means they must be charged by electricity. There is no other fuel type, whether it be petrol, diesel, or even hydrogen. Purely battery-powered electric vehicles only in this list. Other categories for comparison include cost, and this is recommended retail price, not including on-road costs such as taxes and registration fees. Tailpipe emissions obviously is zero for all these battery electric vehicles. Now, initially, the New South Wales government website had listed the acceleration times as 0 to 60, as you can see here. Now, I know the Tesla Model 3 quite well, and I can tell you that 5.6 seconds is the 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time, not 0 to 60. They might have pulled it from some other website where it was 0 to 60 miles per hour. So I'll just make that little correction for you guys right there, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. Next category is safety rating. That's ANCAP, Australia's safety regulator for vehicles. And then the next three columns I've added myself, because range is still a big concern for people looking to buy electric vehicles. The first column is battery size, and that is an absolute number. And I personally think battery size is a true indication of range, because everyone's driving style is different. The next column is range, and we've tried to list real-world range as much as possible, including using either WLTP or EPA ranges. And the final column is efficiency for watt hours per kilometer. Obviously, the lower the number, the better for that vehicle. Alright, so these cars have been listed in ascending order by price, where the MG ZS EV comes in at the cheapest electric vehicle in Australia currently. I've actually done a review of the MG ZS EV looking at the interior, exterior, and also a test drive, so make sure you check out those videos. But at $40,990, the MG ZS EV certainly comes in at very good value. It's an SUV, and it's very similar in size to, say, a Mazda CX-5, a compact type SUV. The boot has pretty good storage. It's pretty comfortable in there, but try to compare apples with apples. Most of these electric vehicles are actually 2 to 3 times more expensive than their internal combustion engine vehicle counterparts. So when you try to compare apples with apples, think of another car that's about $25,000. With a battery size of 42.5 kilowatt hours, the range of 220 kilometers is not too bad. And having driven a Tesla now for the last 5 to 6 years and taken several road trips, I certainly wouldn't want to use an electric vehicle for a road trip that has less than 200 kilometers of range, given the infrastructure currently in Australia. You know, people ask me all the time, what is it actually like to drive a Tesla? How long does it take to charge? How fast does it go? Can you actually take it on a road trip? And that's what I say to them, why wonder when you can check it out for yourself? Because now with EV, Australia's very own Tesla, an electric vehicle sharing platform, you can experience what it's like to own a Tesla beyond a short test drive. With EV, you can rent a car for a few days to try before you buy. You could take it over the weekend on a road trip to somewhere nice, or use it as a gift to surprise that special someone who's always talking about Teslas. You know exactly what I mean. So visit ev.com.au/TeslaTom and use my code TeslaTom for $30 off your first rental. With an ever-growing fleet of Tesla and electric vehicles to rent, there's sure to be an EV car near you. And now for the rest of the video. Now the next car is the Renault Zoe, which is a hatchback. Now from what I've read on the internet, it looks like Renault has pulled the Zoe from the Australian market, so all you'll be able to buy is second-hand Renault Zoes at this point. Now the next car is the Hyundai IONIQ, which is also a hatchback, and this is not a bad looking car. At $48,490, the ICE counterpart is about $25,000 again. It's a pretty efficient car with a battery size of 38.3 kilowatt hours, but quite a good range at 250 kilometers. What I'm really looking forward to is the IONIQ 5, which is hopefully coming out later this year, and this looks quite promising with a much bigger battery and much better range. I think once again it's a hatchback, but it's certainly a bigger type hatchback, and probably think more like a Corolla or a Mazda 3 when comparing apples with apples. I'm looking forward to test driving that one and bringing that to you, of course, on this channel. The next car is a Nissan LEAF at $49,990. Now Nissan has been in the EV market for a long time, with the LEAF version 1, one of the first EVs available in Australia. Not a bad looking car. Again, compare this one with a Corolla or a Mazda 3 in terms of size. Quality wise, it's not bad. And certainly with the battery size of 36 kilowatt hours and range of 220 kilometers, I'd be happy to take this on the road as well, particularly on the major highways in Australia. The next one is a Renault Kangoo. Now this is a van, and I've seen this used by some commercial enterprises and also some of the local councils in my area. I've seen Willoughby Council use this as a van for their library, which is pretty cool. 31 kilowatt hours, range of 160 kilometers, probably enough for a commercial vehicle where you can charge it back at the depot after doing a little run somewhere. Now the New South Wales government website missed the Mini Electric, and again I've done a review of this car, so make sure you check this out. At $59,990, it's certainly more expensive than the Mini Cooper S equivalent, and at battery size of 28.9 and range of 185, I'd say this is probably more of a town car. Certainly useful for getting around town from home to work, or just doing an errand or going shopping. I'd probably be hesitant taking this on a road trip, given the range. The next car is the Hyundai Kona at $60,000 with a battery size of 64 kilowatt hours and a range of 395 kilometers. Now we're talking about some serious range near the 400 kilometer mark, and this car I'd be happy to take on a road trip with me, particularly given the good infrastructure around New South Wales now that we've got ChargeFox, EV and also NRMA helping out with covering the map in Australia with electric vehicle chargers. However, with a price range of $60,000, this is about 2 to 3 times more expensive than the Kona ICE version. In terms of size, think of more a compact SUV with a smaller boot space. And some might argue for a price of $60,000, for $10,000 more, you can get yourself a Tesla Model 3. And I would argue that this is probably the Hyundai Kona's biggest competitor on the market currently. And now we're on to the Tesla Model 3, 66,900, 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds for the base model. 50 kilowatt hours, 335 kilometers, efficiency of 149 watt hours per kilometer. And the Tesla Model 3 takes its rightful place right in the middle of the pack there, as you can see. And for good reason too. And I personally think this is the best value electric vehicle currently in Australia. And I don't say that just because I'm biased, just because we own 2 Teslas, but because, and this is the main reason, owning a Tesla Model 3 means you have access to basically all charging types in Australia. Not just the Tesla superchargers or Tesla destination chargers, you can also use all the third-party chargers all across Australia, making the Tesla Model 3 the most versatile electric vehicle at the moment in Australia. And I guess that's what stands Tesla out from the rest of the pack, because with all these other electric vehicles, you cannot actually use a Tesla supercharger with those cars. You can only use a Tesla supercharger if you've got a Tesla. I think that is the key currently. Until the rest of the third-party infrastructure catches up in Australia, I think owning a Tesla still makes the most sense to me anyway. Anyway, I've done many videos on the Tesla Model 3, as you can tell, so make sure you check out all those videos on my channel. Now, the BMW i3 is a hatchback. It sits at $68,700, a little bit on the pricey end for such a small car. 37.9 kilowatt hours, 235 kilometers. If you want a small compact car and you like BMWs, then certainly take a look at the i3. And the BMW i3 rounds out what I call the more affordable end of the EV spectrum in Australia. As you can see, the next car, the Jaguar I-PACE, is almost double the price of the BMW i3. The Jaguar I-PACE, the Audi e-tron, the Mercedes-Benz EQC, and the Tesla Model X basically all are very similar in size. They're all crossover SUVs, and they're all about similar pricing as well. Now, the Jaguar I-PACE has been out for 2 to 3 years now, and I've done a review as well of that, so make sure you check that video out. $128,860, battery size 84.7 kilowatt hours, 365 kilometers of range. Efficiency is not great, 232, but then again, the efficiency of most electric SUVs aren't great either. I might skip the Tesla Model S for a second. I'll come back to it when I talk about the Tesla Model X. For some reason, the New South Wales government website has listed both Audi e-tron SUV and also the Audi e-tron hatchback version. I've also done reviews of the Audi e-tron, so make sure you check out those videos. The Audi e-tron SUV starts at $137,100, whereas the Audi e-tron hatchback, or what they call the Sportback, with the more curvy back, is $148,100, so $10,000 more expensive. 0 to 100 in 6.8 seconds. Both have a 64.7 kilowatt hour battery, and the range is 280 for the SUV and also 295 for the Sportback. Efficiency is 230, 219. Gotta say, the Audi is quite a nice car. Quality finish, obviously, you'd expect that with a German vehicle. Not a bad looking car inside as well. So certainly if that is within your price range, that's certainly worth a look, I think. The Mercedes-Benz EQC is also an SUV starting at $137,900, 80 kilowatt hour battery, 370 kilometer range, probably a bit better range than the Audi e-tron, and also a comfortable ride and drive as well. And I'd be very happy taking the Mercedes and the Audi on road trips, given the comfort level and also the range is pretty reasonable as well. Now let's talk about the Tesla Model S and the Tesla Model X. Now both of these vehicles unfortunately will not be available to purchase until 2022. You can place your order now, but you won't get it until 2022. It's being refreshed, they're being redeveloped. There's a new steering wheel, new interior, new screens, all those kind of things, new interface, so they won't come out in Australia until next year. But to be honest with you, with a battery pack of 90 kilowatt hours, and look at that range, 555 kilometers for the Tesla Model S, and this is an entry-level Tesla Model S, and the Tesla Model X is 475. If you compare this with, say, for example, the Mercedes-Benz EQC, and even the Audi e-tron, you're getting a much bigger range, and I tell you what, you'd be far more comfortable with a range like that on the open road at 500 kilometers of range. You can even skip one of the superchargers on road to, say, Sydney to Brisbane or Sydney to Melbourne. And look, given the price, you're looking at 132 for the sedan Model S and then 157 for the Model X. So they're pretty comparable in price between the Teslas and the Audis and the Mercedes. So certainly keep the Tesla in mind if you don't mind waiting until 2022 for your electric vehicle. Now the 0Z70, I won't touch on too much. I didn't know too much about this car until I did the research for this video. $209,000. I think it's basically a modified electric Hilux, and it's designed more for the mining industry. It's certainly quite an interesting vehicle, so if you're interested in that, make sure you check that out for yourself. Now the last vehicle I want to talk about is the Porsche Taycan. I've done a review of the Porsche Taycan already, and many thanks to Willoughby Porsche for allowing me to video on their very first opening day in Australia for the Taycan. It's a $200,000 car, probably more like a $250,000 car at the entry level for the Taycan 4S. 71 kilowatt hour battery pack, 375 kilometers of range, efficiency of 189 watt hours per kilometer. The 0 to 100 time is 4 seconds for the entry level. I think it pushes 3 seconds possibly for the Taycan Turbo S. If you've got the cash, yeah, I think it's certainly a nice car. Certainly a beautiful finish inside and out, and it's certainly worth a look if you've got that kind of money to splash on an EV. Certainly a beautiful looking car. Alright guys, well that is my video looking at the electric vehicles that are currently available for sale in Australia as of April 2021. Many thanks again to the New South Wales government website for supplying this list. I also want to give credit to evdatabase.org, where I pulled some of these extra figures, in particular the battery size, range and efficiency for these cars. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already yet. And leave a comment below if you've test driven any of these electric vehicles or even own any of these electric vehicles. And also tell me if I've missed any of the electric vehicles. I'll try to include those for the next update. Alright guys, take care, stay safe, and until the next video, happy charging.